Greetings to everyone out there. Rod here. Today, we're going to be taking a broad look at the scourge of the alleys and highways, otherwise known as bandits. I want to start off by giving a shout out to RPG Mods Fan here on YouTube. Back in October, on our Halloween video, he made a comment. I thought that the scariest monsters would be humans. In most campaign settings, humans are known for atrocities. The other thing that makes them scary is you never know what level they're at. A 20th level party will probably look the same as a low level party. I definitely have to agree with you on that. Most of the atrocities in D&D are committed by mankind. Of course, I would be lumping all the 6 main character races into this category. That's why I decided Bandits would be a good video. If you take a look at Bandits from the point of view of a D&D player, you have a problem situation that you really need to deal with and address. It could be everything from you get mugged on your way out of a tavern, you're ambushed on a trail in between 2 towns or cities. You could even be lured into a false sense of security by the kind old flower vendor or the little old lady selling pies. I have to say, from the open-minded point of view of the Dungeon Master, not all bandits are evil. They just have misunderstood ideals. With that being said, bandits come in all kinds of lifestyles, shapes, and sizes. First, we're going to look at what a bandit is by definition of the status quo in D&D, followed by an example of what a bandit is and what their motives are. This is a topic that is rarely covered that I could find. In the words of Kurt Douglas, may you rest in peace, I swear this by my tattoo. Lastly, I'm going to give my 2-sentence DM point of view and wrap up at the end of this video. The status quo dictates that bandits are a group of organized brigands, thugs, highwaymen, thieves guild initiates, and even ruffians. Now, some would also group assassins in with this category as well. Most of the time, bandits are found in groups of 4 or more. They believe in thievery at the point of a rapier, rather than the subtle and stealthy light fingers of your average thief. Now, bandits of a neutral alignment will have respect for their robbery and kidnapping victims. After collecting a ransom or reward, they will allow their victims to live to see another day. Bandits, most of the time, will fall into several different categories within the 6 aforementioned specific titles. Now, starting off way back in D&D days when I was playing, one of my first encounters with bandits of any kind were brigands. Now, these are usually henchmen hired by cultists. At least they were back then. Most of the time, they are used as enforcers. And we're also the muscle, the backup, the visual intimidation for, say, against low-level player characters. This leads me to the next bandit on our list, which would be thugs. Now, in the popular sense, a thug is a bully or even an antagonist. So, here's an example. You and your party enter a small village tavern inn, looking for a meal and a well-deserved night's rest. Unknown to you, as you are entering the building, you're already being sized up. Just when you're ready to start to call it a night, you get invited to sit down and play a friendly game of cards. What the heck, why not? The guy sitting right across from you has a very poor poker face, and he seems to be giving away his hand most of the time. After you win a few sizable hands, he decides he's going to accuse you of cheating. Now, he also decides he's going to pick a fight with you. Now, he just had it look like he was the innocent and you were the one doing wrong. This is a skilled thug. And he specializes in singling you out, or singling out whoever he decides to make his easy target just to get his rocks off. Now, the Monster Manual states that thugs are ruthless enforcers who are skilled at intimidation and violence. They work for money and have very few scruples, especially when it comes to picking fights. I bet that everybody out there knows somebody personally in the real world that fits this category. And that's exactly where I draw my inspiration from when I have thug NPCs in my game. Next on our list, we're going to look at the Highwayman briefly. This is taken from our own history. They were horseback bandits from the 1800s who would patiently wait for their unsuspected traveler, victim, or whoever just happens to come along that they want to rob. This also included the great stagecoach robbers. This is how they got the title of Highwayman. In D&D, a Highwayman has been a homebrew NPC since around the beginning of 2nd and 3rd edition. They almost always operate alone. Very seldomly do you find them accompanied by another highwayman or a bandit. Now this will most likely depend on who or what the intended target is. They might need to enlist some other skills, but it's very, very rare that you'll see it happen. They stick to an area which they're very familiar with. Highwaymen are very skilled at horse-mounted combat. This might suggest that they've had military service in the cavalry. They have the advantage in combat while mounted against a victim that is on the ground, allowing them also the element of surprise. Now next, we have the Thieves Guild Initiate. And that's exactly what they are. Most of the time, these would be orphaned children. Or maybe they're low-level thieves that are coming through town and just wish to operate under the guidelines of the guild so they don't end up getting their throats cut in their sleep. Also, most of the time, you gotta deal with the syndicate boss if you're in a larger city. Such as from my homebrew campaign, we have a group there that operates out of Greyhawk called the Sewer Rats. Another popular crime boss would be the one from Waterdeep, named the Xanathar. Now, any rogue worth their title knows that you need to be affiliated with the local Thieves Guild. Like I said, you might not wake up with your throat cut. With that being said, making town buildings and even terrain settings can be pretty difficult out of crafting supplies, especially if you don't know what you're doing. I'm affiliated with a group of guys known as the Tabletop Dungeoneers. Now, they build these models on their channels. I would suggest you check them out sometime. You can find them directly below in Friends of this channel, where I've got direct links to all their channels. These guys are really, really good at what they do. Personally, I pick up on something different every time I watch one of their videos. Now, back to bandits. Now, most of the time, your common bandit in a remote location would be called a ruffian. They consist of all of the above, and they operate outside of the confines of the guilds or the boundaries of the law. They usually have a bandit captain who organizes them. They could pass messages back and forth either through a messenger, and sometimes they even deliver them in person when they got to get a point across. Sometimes this could be your local law enforcement or a well-off member of the community or society who's just bored and wants a little more power or land. The motivation that drives the common bandit is a little bit more than just greed. On occasion, a bandit could be someone who's just tired of seeing injustice, or they've been pushed around a lot and they just want to get even. This would be your Robin Hood type, or maybe even a musketeer bandit. Motivated by, say, law enforcement or the monarchy overstepping their boundaries, pushing around the little guy. These type of bandits are what I would call the product of stories, or they're my local folk hero, which are meant to give the oppressed people hope for a better tomorrow. From these stories, an unknown hero will come to save the day. It could be somebody like Zorro from the Mexican folk stories, with the thrill of the chase and a bounty on their head. Adventurers could find themselves aiding the folk hero, or even hunting down the criminal for a bounty, and also the glory of bringing them in. Now, this would add several twists to the game. You could be known for helping a folk hero defeat the oppressors and aid those tired people. Or you could be the one taking that contract offered by the magistrate, who just might be working for a slavers guild, who wants to see an end to the menace that is causing problems for their way of life. You can call me crazy, but I really do enjoy running a double-edged sword campaign. Either your party is loved by the people and hunted by the law, or you're favored by the law and hated by the people. Now, lastly, we're going to take a real quick look at assassins. These are a unique class of bandit, specializing in single target death and getting exactly what they came for. Most of these are masters in their profession, skilled in the use of poisons and venoms. If an assassin fails an attempt, they will leave to kill another day. Most of the time, a brigand, a thug, or a ruffian will be the one cleaning up after them. The best thing about assassins is you never know who they really are, what their agenda is, and who might be their intended victim. There could be one in your party right now, and you wouldn't even know it. A lot of the time, they'll operate under the guise of a bartender, barmaid, or even a local swashbuckler, just to throw off suspicion. Some assassins have even been known to take jobs in the city watch. Think of all the possibilities that you can use for bandits in your next campaign. Now let's get the conversation started. Tell me down there below, what is your favorite type of bandit? Where have you used bandits in the past? Where do you intend on using them in the future? Just so you know, absolutely any NPC in the world of D&D could be a bandit. You never know who it is. It could be the kind old lady who runs the flower stand, who just happened to be the one that stole the urn off the mayor's mantle. Now, coming up soon, I'll be covering the significance and the use of tattoos in D&D. Until next time, thank you for watching. Now grab that D8 and roll damage.